Welcome to this edition of EMS Now Up Close. I am Eric Miskell with EMS Now, and today it's my pleasure to speak with Krishna Ganason. She is the Director of Engineering with Fusion Worldwide. Fusion Worldwide, of course, is one of the large global independent distributors serving the electronics manufacturing industry. And I wanted to speak to Krishna about some supply chain issues, but before we get into that, Krishna, welcome. My first time interviewing you. I've been looking forward to this.
All right, thank
Why don't
you.
you begin by give us an overview of who you are and what does a director of engineering do at Fusion Worldwide?
Right. Hi, my name is Krishna Ganason. I am the Director of Engineering for Fusion Worldwide. So I manages the engineers globally for Fusion. So our main responsibility is to work with customers on technical issues at component level. I also have test engineers who help customers develop test solutions for components and also quality control engineers who constantly innovate a better quality process at the quality hub. So that's our main task as in a part of the engineering team.
Okay, excellent. And I want to get into your team a little later, but let's start, big picture and kind of, work down into it. I wanted to talk to you about kind of safeguarding the supply chain, right? That's a big issue, and I think that kind of falls within your area of responsibility fully there. So, um, as you look at it, what are the challenges that buyers and engineers are facing today in the electronic supply chain?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest challenge is the rise of sophisticated counterfeits. Too
Hmm.
high demand in shortage market, obsolete parts, and end of life parts, etc. And that threatens the quality and integrity of electronic components. As an engineer, we understand the impact, have to be able to design system with robust quality process and advanced testing, while buyers hold stringent sourcing process with qualified suppliers.
Okay. And I want to circle back to that in a moment because let me first ask kind of how does Fusion protect customer supply chains then within the semiconductor industry? Do you, but I mean, you leveraging the services that you're just mentioning there, how do you, um, how do I want to ask this? How are you acting, how is Fusion acting to protect your customers' supply chains?
Okay. So it is all starts from robust qualifications of supplier, right? Is at most important and first step to quality.
Okay.
Quality and engineering team is involved in every steps of supplier qualification and management. We go beyond above, we go above and beyond on the evaluation by using quality metrics to monitor their performances. And we use AD approach, partnering with supplier for continuous improvement strategies.
Okay.
From, yeah, for also Fusion focuses on engineering expertise and technical excellence. We differentiate ourselves through this team, which enable us to provide technical support to customers and resolve component technical issues effectively. I think that's what customers loves about us, and our competitors could not do that.
Okay. Tell me, you mentioned, in your first answer about the counterfeiting, kind of becoming, and you called it sophisticated counterfeiting because I think it has become that. Is that as, there's been talk in the industry that as demand has slowed a bit, right, and business has been down, that maybe the amount of counterfeiting has declined as well. Are you seeing a decline in that in the activity, or do you see it just as prevalent as it was before?
So counterfeit, it could be a lagging metrics. It not necessarily as the demand goes down, the number that we see is also go down. but it could be opposite. So we're still seeing, number of counterfeits are still stagnant just because the parts that we shipped that coming back after a year or 2 years. So we still do see the numbers are stagnant, but although the demand has decreased quite a bit.
Okay.
So the most important is for us to stay vigilant to whatever risks that we see as we inspect components.
Okay. No, very good, very good. So, I wanted to ask you, Fusion is as a independent distributor. The authorized channel, of course, believes that the way to ensure component integrity is to only use the authorized channels that deal directly with the manufacturers. How do you address this issue?
Right. I think that's a very good question, and I get that quite a lot. Manufacturers uses forecasts in their operations, and we know that forecasts can never be perfect. As such, as an independent distributor, we are here to help the customers to close that gap, either on active components, obsolete parts, end-of-life parts, and etc. Fusion offers comprehensive supply chain solutions for small, medium, and large enterprises, including Fortune 500s, across numerous verticals, including computing, industrial, automotive, uh, defense, and etc. Fusion's vast supplier network, commitment to quality, and market intelligence offers customers the speed, transparency, and reliability that they need to navigate in this fast changing supply chain, including shortages and geographical events.
Yeah, it's interesting what you just said there, and the research, the market research that's done. I've
Yep,
always appreciated what Fusion does in that regard. You guys have been you've been putting, I believe, the green sheet is what it's called, right? And
that's
that,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a fantastic service that I look at, and I know others do. And those of you who aren't, I encourage you to take a look at it because I believe it's on a monthly basis. It's the frequency, but I think that provides a really good insight into trends and what's happening in the market.
Yeah, that's definitely something that our customers really appreciate. It does gives an overview of market change, geographical events, and a lot of current informations and trends.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So now we're back to you on the technical side. As you mentioned that, it came to mind. So tell me about the specific quality control measures and what does Fusion implement to ensure high quality in the semiconductor products that you sell?
Yep. Fusion uses a mix of rigorous and stringent quality check. Fusion is AS9120 certified. It is a quality management system mainly used and developed for aerospace and military industry. And we also use statistical sampling plan of AS9120, and that is another aerospace standard. So, this helps us to mitigate potential risk and ensure quality before we ship parts. We constantly looking for ways to automate quality processes and supply chain risk. We are venturing into AI and machine learning for better and efficient testing, improve communication technology for our customers and suppliers so they can get themselves up to date, and focus on leadership development to stay ahead in this digital transformation.
Yeah. Um, yeah, you mentioned AI in there, and that, of course, is so prevalent in every aspect of the industry these days. And I could just imagine that would have tremendous benefit for the quality side of what you do.
Right, right.
Yeah. So what strategies then does Fusion use in supply chain management to give yourselves a kind of an edge, to give a competitive advantage?
Right. So competitive edge comes from two things, right? Technical expertise and cutting edge technologies. Fusion is embracing the current industrial revolution by looking for ways integrating technologies like online automated system, IoT, Internet of Things, and AI These advancements are transforming customers' expectations and society, ensuring Fusion supply chain is ready for this new era and maintaining our competitive advantage.
Yeah. So I'm curious kind of about the testing protocol and how you deploy that. So what is the testing protocol that at Fusion? I mean, what do you use kind of when and how do you can't necessarily test every component that comes through the
Right.
door or through the warehouses, right? So how do you determine when and what testing to use?
Yeah. No, that's a good question. And like what you said, right, Eric, our QCs could not inspect everything, right? All the components. So, but our QCs inspect all batches though, and sampling of components based on risk mitigation plan. We have automated many tasks within our online system, freeing the QC to focus more valuable activities, while the engineers look for ways to advance the testing technology. Recently, we have added electrical testing at various temperature, EDX for element analysis, and SCM scanning electron microscopy through ProSemi. Additionally, ProSemi is ISO 17025 accredited test lab that help us in testing accuracy and stay competitive in our field.
And let's talk about that. You mentioned ProSemi. I know I think they're out of Singapore. They're the your test lab, so to speak. But you have um, Fusion, and I'm sure you're involved with your role. 5 kind of quality control centers around the globe. I think three in Asia, 1 in North America, 1 in Europe. Um, what is it that motivated Fusion to develop this kind of this footprint and its own in-house engineering team to support this?
Yeah. As a leader of a company, I think it's so important for us to focus what is ahead of curve 2 or 3 years out. How fusion likely to revolutionize in the field that we are in. Driven by visionary leaders like our COO and head of quality, Paul Romano,
Mm.
Fusion recognized the need for dedicated engineering expertise to deliver high quality products and services. The team, comprising a group of professional semiconductor manufacturing background, enable Fusions to navigate complex component issues, and we adapt to rapid technological changes and execute strategic projects. I think ultimately ensuring operation excellence and superior customer satisfaction.
So, how big is your team, by the way? How large of a group
Yeah.
is this?
Yeah, so we have total of 5 managers globally and 37 engineers globally as well, across Hong Kong, Singapore, Amsterdam, and in Haverhill and in Boston. So we have large footprint of engineering team globally.
Yeah. And I know, like, and you didn't say this when you introduced yourself, you have a background, you came from the semiconductor yourself out of Texas Instruments. Do a lot of your colleagues and the people on your team have similar kind of backgrounds, or is it quite diverse?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Most of our engineers comes from semiconductor component manufacturers. So the reason we do that is we want to have these engineers who comes from that background so we can pinch their skill and knowledge to in the independent distribution. So we transfer this knowledge to our customers, especially in during resolving complex and component issues.
Yeah. And so how does that work? So can a client then, if you have a customer and they're experiencing difficulty, they reach out and they say, uh, uh, we need some help with whatever the issue is, can you do this? Or is it also kind of a proactive approach where you're seeing things through your own testing and seeing things and you're going to customers saying, beware of this, or, we're noticing this.
Right. So our team involved from the beginning. As soon as the customers is working with our sales team, we work with our sales team, introducing our quality process, our quality testing. So they get to see the overview of everything, what the engineering team is doing, and as well as the quality process. So, and then along the way, even after we ship the parts to them, we take care of any sort of failures that they see. So we support them upfront along the way and as well as after ship in any event there's quality issues, we diagnose the issues, we perform failure analysis until we resolve the issue with them. And I
Mhm.
think that's what they love about us. Not many of our competitors could provide this type of services to our customers.
Yeah, no, that sounds very kind of all inclusive, so to speak,
You're right.
right?
You're right.
And to do that with them. Um, Before I let you go, as we're looking for, we're halfway through the year now officially, right? We just started July. So, um, what do you see as far as the level of activity in the industry? Is it pretty busy in your departments and what you're doing? Is it or like I mentioned before, there seems to be some softening in demand. Kind of what are you seeing? What are you expecting kind of throughout the rest of the year?
Yeah. No, definitely. The dynamic of the market has changed quite a bit, right? For the last couple of years, we see the shortages market that has come down with manufacturers catching up with their shipment. But regardless, there's always a gap in that forecast. And, we always have, um, yeah, there's always a gap and there's a demand is always consistent. We
Yeah,
just have to stay vigilant of what's coming to us and also improving our quality process constantly. One of the things that we see for the last couple of years, about 5 years back, the counterfeit was very high in passive components, but recently the counterfeits has rised in active components. So what that tells us is counterfeiters are getting smarter and more sophisticated. So we really has to stay ahead of this issue.
yeah. No, well, excellent point. And, as you were talking about forecasts, I just remember years ago somebody told me that the synonym for forecasts is wrong, right? So it's just they're never right. That's been an ongoing challenge, and I think that's the big challenge in supply chain is with those, the ability to adapt and very quickly and respond to the changes which are just coming so fast and furious in the industry. So good.
Right.
Um, Krishna, it's been a pleasure finally getting to speak to you, having a chance to hear about the activities that you're doing within Fusion, your team. It all sounds very impressive. If people want to learn more, I encourage you to reach out to Fusion and Krishna. You can find on LinkedIn, just like everybody these days. Or you can go through the website. I was on it just before the interview, looking at the footprint. So there's a lot of good information there. I encourage people to avail themselves of it. Um, Krishna, thank you for your time today. Thank you for sharing your insights with our audience. I know they appreciate it. And hopefully in the future, at some point, we can do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you very much. And it's my pleasure as well. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Take care.